LCX, Toshi, Floki, XRP, all bearish. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name is Neil. Keeping technical analysis short and sweet. We see this downward trend line with Bitcoin. Even though it had that bullish movement, we could still potentially see one more drop to test the 200 EMA before getting support and taking off. However, I could always be incorrect. We could consolidate above the previous high at 108 and start that push upwards. But I do believe we might see another further push down. And as for the title, it's just a title, so you guys watch the video. But we'll go over Floki. It's actually potentially going to build support on this upward trend line. It tested over that 200 EMA very quickly and then had that major retracement underneath the 200 EMA. Now we need a little bit of support. If Bitcoin pulls back, it could be testing this level and start the push back up over those 4 zeros and a 9, and ultimately try and hold above that 200 EMA before Floki starts to take off. Perpetual protocol, not looking the best. We had that consolidation period, but ultimately we have this downward trend that is going more with. So the upward trend line is really the support we are looking for perpetual. We are most likely going to touch that if Bitcoin pulls back one more time drastically, and then we'll start that movement upwards towards this downward trend line. And when we get over that, we have to break over that 200 EMA at 33 cents, but I've brought it up many times. Perpetual protocol has a pretty high point for where it currently sits at 25 cents. Just keep an eye on that one. XDC looks very healthy. I've actually brought this one up right around here where I said we'd have that retrace down to the 200 EMA where we had the touch, and then we had that support and consolidation, which is very healthy, and then it's trying to create a new high over this previous high, which could potentially start pushing this back upwards towards this previous high at 0.09 cents. XDC is looking better and better for a buy. If we get that close and hold, maybe a little bit of consolidation, but keep an eye on XDC, because if you have invested into it or you're planning on it, this is a good area to be looking for an entry. None of this is financial advice, however. Near consolidation, building a lower low roughly, but we want to see some support off this green upward trend line. If we see a pullback, we could see a pullback up, touching that green trend line, breaking it, and the 200 EMA, which could take a little bit, but mainly this upward trend line is all we got for support, as well as the 618 on the Fibonacci retracement. Keep near in mind. It's one of those ones that once it gets over that 200 EMA, it has some pretty quick increases in price as soon as it crosses over. So keep an eye on that. XRP, they are allowing staking for XRP. Flare network is something that I brought up in my other videos. Definitely something to take a look at. Imagine getting 4% XRP for cashback transactions. You can actually get that done on Gemini. But we have this downward channel that XRP is playing within. It's trying to stay right above the 50 area. Something like this is what we could look at. So we're trading within this range. If it breaks this, we'd be trading down here, which would be right around that 200 EMA, and we'd get pushed right back up into the channel. And ultimately, we would just need to break this downward trend line before XRP takes off to nearly $5 from $2.80. May not seem like a lot, but this can go a lot higher, and this is something to definitely keep an eye on. If you gain some money from like XCN or QNT, definitely recommended you stack a bag of XRP, and then you can stake that and start earning passive income, and the price will just continue to increase, and your passive income will also increase along with the XRP market. So definitely dollar cost average, highly recommendable. One of my favorite coins, right up there with XCN for long-term investments. But none of this is financial advice. XLM, it is building that lower low, but trying to get a little bit of stability. If we do a Fibonacci on this, I got a lot of stuff in this area. Fibonacci retracement, the 618 is more or less right where we are sitting at. The 200 EMA is very close. That is a lot of pressure for XLM to start pushing up towards this downward trend line, similar to what XRP is doing. Similar formation. If you're stacking XRP, definitely make that your priority. And then XLM is kind of like a sidekick to XRP. And it's definitely recommendable to get a little bit, definitely more XRP than XLM, in my personal opinion, because none of this is financial advice. And LCX pushed up over that 200 EMA is holding right around where I said you'd want to be looking for an entry around the 15-cent mark. And this was way back when LCX was way up here at 27 cents. We were at 14 cents. I said anywhere within 15-cent range is potentially a good entry. We are over the 200 EMA. The RSI looks healthy. LCX, definitely put a few bucks here if you can, but it's not financial advice. It's just looking very healthy. We may have a little retracement over it, so keep an eye on it. But you may see a quick pop. Toshi, to get some views on this video, like and subscribe if you haven't. We are clearly holding support on this upward trend line. The 200 EMA is giving us some more support for Toshi. We broke this downward trend line, so we are in a pretty tight squeeze. This is the major support that we need to be watching, but a little bit can go a long way with Toshi. It is a meme coin. Don't put a huge bag into Toshi, but if we can get over this downward trend line, this would be the next resistance we would be looking at. And if we can get over that, we would be testing it as support and pushing to the new high. Hbar, Polygon, that's a good one. Hbar trying to hold above the 200 EMA, trying to push back in within this wedge. We could readjust this wedge to something like this, which is more of a downward channel. So it's got this range up, it's got this range down, but it's got to beat that 200 EMA, which isn't very likely. I think we will get some support off that 200 EMA, even if Bitcoin pulls back and start pushing upwards. NKN, consolidation. Polygon. And Epic is a part of XRP, but Polygon, I believe we're going to come back, test within this area, potentially off the 200 EMA, before looking for an entry for Polygon. But it is also at 27 cents, and the previous data shows there was a high of 76, and there's very high volume. Keep that in mind. Cookie and Epic real quick. Cookie's building some kind of support off this upward trend line here. But that's all we really have to try and get a bullish momentum. This water is pretty tough with the CM Guppy pushing it downwards. The 200 EMA is pretty strong as well. We are stuck within this area to try and break over that 200 EMA before seeing a push up on Cookie. And Epic, not a whole bunch of information, but this does have some potential as it is going to be partnering with XRP, I believe. So keep Epic on your radar, see if we can get some kind of support out of that. That's it for this video. Like and subscribe if you want. Good luck. Have fun with it. All the references are in the description below to trade coins. On MaxC, you get 10 USDT free if you use MaxC. Reference link. Good luck. Have fun with it. I will see you on the next one.